Hi, I'm Les Poore, and I've coached varsity soccer here at Lisbon Regional for 27 years. You know, Mike and I, we've had some really intense soccer games, and but I really think wholeheartedly that it's brought out the best in our programs.
Hi, this is Mike Ackerman from Woodsville High School. It's my 38th year of coaching varsity boys soccer. I think Lisbon's a great rival because their town is a lot like ours. Their fans are passionate. Their kids are hardworking, tough kids, and it's great to play them because you know when you play them that it's always going to be a tight game, and Les gets a lot out of his kids and is a great coach. So you know, it's always fun to play them, and you know, it's really, I think over the years we've gained even a lot of more respect between the towns and the programs for each other.
Gary, how you doing, guys? Gary?
Hey, Jesse.
Gary, how are you? Hey, Gary, how are you?
In 2004 we won the championship, and then in 2005 we played Lisbon in the semifinals.
So the year 2005, I thought that was one of the best teams I had at that time, and we climbed so high through all those years, and we finally get there, and then you know, they came down and kind of rained on our parade, and they had an awesome team. They were a machine that year.
We beat them and ended up going on to beat undefeated Pittsfield in the championship, and then we got to the next year and lost 1-0 with a minute to go in the game on a goal by one of the Lisbon kids.
You know, the next year came along, and we were able to knock them off in the semis, and it was probably, I would say, in all my years of soccer, I would say those 2 years were probably some of the best teams I've ever seen in the Final Four. Those two semifinal games were the most intense games that I've ever been a part of.
It was quite a battle.
We never would have been that good if it wasn't for them, you know, making us raise our game. If you're going to play against any Ackerman-led team, then you better be on top of your game. And so in that way, it was just the start of a really good rivalry that still goes on today.
The skill level has increased dramatically over the years.
North Country soccer as a whole, it absolutely amazes me how far it's come.
It's progressed from just seeing who could whale it as far up the field as they could.
It used to be a kickball game and put certain guys at certain positions because of their size.
You put 5 big guys in the back to kick it up the field, 3 in the middle and 2 up front, and everybody just sprinted after the ball.
It's evolved so much, and it's actually a very popular sport now, not only for the players but for fans.
Here in Woodsville, you get the tournament and everybody in town comes to the games.
I think overall, I think the northern teams, you know, certainly don't mind playing shoulder to shoulder or hip to hip. We don't mind the extra contact, and the northern kids are pretty tough.
One main thing, one thing I always tell my kids is it's not whether you win or lose, but it's that you're a winner. So I think I try to impart that on them, and we really, the 3 kind of tenets of our Woodsville philosophy are heart, guts, and intelligence. Play with all of those and try to play the sport the way it should be played. So.
Back up, Mike actually, when he was in Division III, I used to pick his brain quite often when I was a younger coach, and he's always been wonderful to me, and the few times that I would call him for advice, he was always there for me, and you know, he's really helped me out along the way. And then, ironically enough, then we end up battling against each other.
I love playing against Les because he's a student of the game, and he gets his kids playing hard, and he's a real classy individual, and it's just fun to coach against guys like him, or like I said before, Buddy Trask or Billy Goodrich up at Gorham. All of us have been around quite a few years, and it's just fun to play against any of those guys because they get their kids to play the game with intensity, but play fair and and sportsman like. So
the one thing that I hope when people look back and they're going to look at my program and I got a ways to go. I certainly got 10 or so years left here, 10 to 12, and they will say that he did it right, and his players played the game the way it should be played. And I know that's what Mike tries to teach his players and many other of the North Country coaches that I truly respect and admire. And but I think Mike and I, when people look back, they're going to see the rivalry, they're going to see the intensity. But I also think, they're going to see two good friends and who respect one another and really appreciate what each program did for one another.